Here we go. All right. I am here with Daylis Caballero Vega and Chad Andrews and Dr. Jen Four. And Daylis, we're here to really promote your book, which is coming out, Living the Dream, Your Journey to Freedom. You defected from Cuba 7 years ago, Drake Stadium, your first meet as an American citizen back at Drake Stadium. So really, what does this stadium mean to you?
Well, man, Dre really stadium amidst the world. Why? Because I never thought that I'm gonna go back there. That's the first thing. So, and that me going back to Dre as an American athlete and leaving as a Cuban athlete from the same stadium, it's just like, wow, why Drake? It's just like I still asking that question multiple times. Why Drake Stadium? It could be in Florida. It could be in South Carolina. It could be in Texas. I don't know. Why Drake? So me walking into the stadium, it was just like, okay, you got to put it together because so many emotions in one plate. So I couldn't, at first, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't, like, I say, this is real. Somebody need to, like, hey, like, touch me and say, "What? Wake up, wake up. This is real. It's happening." And it meant so much. Like, I was, like, nervous. I was, like, at first, I said, I don't know if I will be able to do this. I won't be able to handle it. But I told myself, you're already here. This is really happening. You have to put it together. So at first, I was saying, man, how am I going to go inside this stadium? What am I going to react when I stop inside this place? So me walking into this place, I was looking around and I was just like, man, are you serious? This is real. That, man, like, I can't believe it till today that was like that. It just like it feels like a dream, you know. It was like a oh my, and not only that I'm stepping on the same exact track. It wasn't nothing changed since 2013 at Drake all the way to 2019. It can be like that real life, like, you know, it's like, does life works like that? Why you send me back to the same place? But I guess it means something. I guess I would put it like that. I get God say, man, you need to go back. It was meant to be. You have to go back to pole vaulting. I want you to go back to the same place. And I want you to actually complete something that you dream. You know, because I came here as an athlete, so I basically, that's the only thing I know how to do, just playing the stink and jumping all the way up there. So I guess I say, go back and just complete what you had in your mind of the first place coming to America. So I have so many words to express about Drake, but at the same time, it's just like, we can actually, like, if you guys keep talking, we're gonna write another book about actually just Drake, really. Just Drake Stadium.
Well, we're not ready for the second book just yet, but let me ask Chad and Jen a question. How did you guys with Texas Express, how did you find Daylis? How did Daylis find you? What is the story behind the both of you coaching a world-class vaulter?
Well, I guess I'll take the lead on that, and then it's kind of a combination of both of us. The story started out was we were hosting a meet over at Green Hill School up in Addison, Texas, and we're just doing our normal summer track, just kind of hosting a little all-comers meet where everybody's coming out and jumping, and all of a sudden a young lady comes from the other side of the parking lot speaking Spanish and hollering and yelling at us real loud, and you know, approached my father first. And about the only thing, I mean, we did understand a little bit more, but you know, the first thing all we could understand is pretty much pole vault out of her. And, you know, just a whole bunch of Spanish, and just, you know, she was real excited to be there and see the pole vault and see all the kids. And, you know, I think it was an eye-opening experience for her that she's never seen a club or anything like that kind of identity too. So that was really neat. But that was the first time we met. And the neat thing about it is, since with the language confusion between the two of us, you know, I had to go home and research her and get her on the internet. I could write her name down on a piece of paper. And Buzz and I went home, my father, the other coach in Texas Express with Jen. After we did that, I mean, we figured out she was a bona fide stud, and we just kind of jaw dropped, and we just kind of said, holy crap, and this is a really neat thing. And but the crazy thing is, we kind of left it alone for a little while. We kind of let her jump at some of the all-comer little meets that we had. And, you know, she started coaching herself and doing some private coaching. And then, Jen, you want to get some of this? Because then it just kind of comes to where y'all started kind of meeting and working with Green Hill and stuff.
Yeah. And so I guess to keep going, I coach at Hockaday. And so Green Hill is part of our conference. So we got to see and work together a lot. And during that beginning, Daylis and I started jumping together kind of over at Green Hill after practices a little bit. And then competing in some of the local masters competitions. So we still got some videos and images of that. And so then, you know, she started coming up to train at Texas Express. And so, you know, kind of history from there. So.
Daylis, with Texas Express, what did you learn to help bring you to what are now Olympic trials qualifier, as opposed to what you had already learned in Cuba?
Well, I mean, with Texas Express, I learned how to enjoy more pole vaulting. I learned what is being an athlete, you know? So I learned that, you know, bring the good buyer to a group of young athletes trying to achieve that dream, you know? So I feel like a role model for all of those kids out there. And even though I feel like I learned a lot of things from them also. So Texas Express is really like, you know, they opened the door for me, and that really, really, really means a lot to me, because it actually brings, you know, that's one of the reasons I'm who I am today. So I can say that going to Texas Express is basically like, I would say, man, it basically like take me down and say, okay, now you can be an athlete. You don't have to worry about selling cigars to be an athlete or something like that. It's just like, it's literally a second chapter, like a second life for me. Like you basically, you start learning how pole vaulting, you know, how to pole vault at Texas Express, basically. Because I wasn't worried about anything. I was just worried about stick to pole and just keep learning, you know, with a group of coaches, Jen, Chad, Butts, you know, we just like, you know, putting all that stuff together because in order to achieve, you know, whatever we need to achieve. So that means a lot to Texas Express.
Chad and Jen, when did you realize, based on your research, not only that she was already an Olympian, but had defected, so had a very interesting background?
Well, we learned that pretty much, you know, I mean, just after that first time we met, and then, like I said, kind of Jen and Daylis, they kind of started coaching in the corresponding schools and doing that. We found that out just, I mean, pretty much right off the bat. You know, she kind of told us, you know, what her circumstance was. So we knew immediately that there was a really cool story, and she had a really neat background to her. And that's partly why we kind of latched onto her as well, because we knew she needed a family and she needed a home. So, I mean, it's just kind of how life works, timing and everything. It just kind of fell in our lap, and she needed us. And then, you know, it's been a great, you know, thing having her around for the kids, like we talked about, you know, what she was just mentioning. So it's just a win-win for everybody. You know, just a really cool thing.
I was just going to ask you, Jen, how has her presence helped the high school kids?
Oh yeah, I was just about to chime in about that. It's been so cool to watch her dynamic with the kids over the past couple of years. You know, I think as she started getting more and more confident in her new abilities, because you know she knew coming in, you know, what she could do and what she did in the past. But I think once she realized, like, I got a real shot at this, like, you know, she took training seriously, and then I mean, probably within a year and a half time frame, right leading up to to USA's last summer. That's, you know, we saw that kind of transition to be like, okay, she's going for this, right? So in that meantime, she would get on the runway with the kids. She trained with the kids all the time. And just, you know, reminiscing the other day was like, she'd be on with some of our stud boys and they would be competing for the same bungee, like, oh, we're not going to touch this, or I'm on my meat pole, you know? So it's just that cool little dynamic. So you kind of have this little competition within practice. But then the other cool thing is she would always give her 2 cents to some of the young kids, just being that good role model and teaching, you know, different drills that would help certain kids and just kind of pulling them off to the side and just building that relationship. It's been really cool to watch.
All right. Now, Dee, we don't want to give away the whole book because obviously it centers around your courage to defect and seek a better life. Do you have any regrets about defecting?
I always say a big no, like really big no. Like I wouldn't even say just one no. I would say even like 10 times no. No, not at all. Not at all. It sounds crazy, but no at all. But like I say, as soon as my beautiful people start reading my story, they probably gonna find out who I say 10,000 no. I don't regret it.
I'm going to pull up the cover real quickly. And here is actually the cover of the book. That's you in the USA uniform that you wore at USA Outdoors. Your first meet back at Drake. What did it feel like to put on that uniform?
Oh, Jesus. I was still today waking up and I have one of my top crop and a friend. And the first thing when I open my eyes, I see my USA uniform. That's my last name, like a butt, you know, the number you put it behind your back to recognize who you are in a competition. But that putting the first time the uniform, me, I felt like, wait a minute. If this really is my uniform, do I really earn this? And I started looking at people like, you know, I pull it up, the ranking, the USA ranking pole vault, and I start scrolling up people. I said, Jesus, there's so many pages in here. And I'm right on top. I'm wearing this uniform. But when I was scrolling up, I say, I'm the only one. It's not from actually born here and raised here. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only one who came from another country, and they say, ta-da! No, you're America. I said, no, wait. This is really, really, so it's so beautiful. And you know what? Blue is my favorite color. So it made me feel like, okay, now I'm even more beautiful. This is so beautiful. So yeah, I put on that uniform. It was just like, oh Jesus, I'm an Olympian right now. Now I feel that I'm a really Olympian. Like seriously, like I know back in the day, the USA, it's the really, really potential country and so many sports. And then track and field, they winning. And me putting in the uniform. Oh my goodness, no. Could you like? I just was thinking like I'm wearing the same the same uniform Stacy Dragula wore, but not the same, you know, not the same model, but just the representing the country. Stacy Dragula, Jen Sher, Oh my goodness. That the people that I saw was just like back in the day, compared for the original country, which is different here, but I was competing with the different country. So for me, it was just like a messed up, like, oh, Jesus, wait. But it was such a beautiful experience. It was such a beautiful, beautiful experience. Like you say, I cannot keep talking. If you know I will, I'm going to go ahead and say the entire book.
Well, don't say the entire book, but before we get off of Zoom here today, since we don't want to talk about the entire book, why don't you give an opportunity to go ahead and plug or promote your book called Living the Dream, which I believe is, Chad, that title you came up with.
Teamwork is our famous line with all that.
And this is your journey. So go ahead and let everyone know that your book is now available.
Okay, guys, everyone, go ahead and take a minute and click the link we're going to provide for y'all. And go ahead and click that button and say, I'm about to buy it. Those $30 is going to be the worth of $30 you're going to spend. Why? Because it's going to be a story that is going to inspire you. Not only you as an athlete, even your parents going to go ahead and inspire by this story. So I really hope that you guys love my story. You're about to enjoy. I know you will. And then don't feel afraid. Just hit me up on Instagram if you want to. Shoot me a message and say, hey, I love that. Take a picture with the book when you had it physically. And then do whatever you want to do. I'm going to be available for that. I'm going to be open for y'all. And any question as a vaulter athlete, go ahead and shoot me a message. So here you are, living the dream. My journey to the freedom is out there, ready for y'all. Thank you, Stuart, for supporting me to come out with this idea. Chad, Jen, Boss, everybody from both sizes family, Chad, Jen, Chad family, Jen family. You guys have been a great supporter to myself. I mean, I know I cannot mention so many people, but I know it's not only them and so many people. Texas Express family, you guys have been incredible supporters for me, and then living the dream. It's out there, so please let me know if you like it.
Dia, I think you said that well enough for everybody. So before we say goodbye, I'm going to say thank you for spending some time on a Labor Day Monday to Jen, Chad, and Daylis, and we look forward to seeing all of you soon. Stay safe.
Take care.
Thank you, Stuart.
Bye.
Bye.